What if the life you've always dreamed of wasn't something you needed to chase after, but a potential already residing within you, waiting to be awakened? And what if the key to unlocking that potential lies not in relentless striving, but in a specific way of being, a state you naturally enter every single night before you drift off to sleep? This is not just another self-help technique or a fleeting trend. It is a fundamental principle that has been understood for centuries, that the world you experience is born from within, and that there is a powerful, yet surprisingly simple method for taking control of the very energy that shapes your reality. This method doesn't require endless effort or willpower, but rather a subtle shift in how you approach the quiet moments of your day, specifically as you transition from wakefulness to sleep. The secret lies in understanding that your external world is simply a reflection of your inner state, a mirror that shows you what you're truly believing and feeling inside. This mirroring effect will become more and more clear as we progress, revealing a profound truth about how your reality is formed. This isn't some New Age concept. It's a principle that has been explored and taught by enlightened individuals throughout time, and in the modern era, particularly by figures like James Allen and Neville Goddard, who understood the power of the subconscious mind and its ability to shape one's external experiences. Now, let's consider the significance of this approach. What if, instead of endlessly chasing external achievements, you could directly influence the source of your experience? This method represents a revolutionary departure from conventional self-help methods that focus on behavior modification, which can often lead to temporary and surface-level changes. Instead of focusing on external action, it goes directly to the root of the issue by working with the inner world, where true and lasting transformation is not only possible, but is inevitable. This isn't about wishful thinking or a quick fix. It's about understanding that the very foundation of your life, from your relationships to your finances and your overall well-being, is a direct result of your inner state. Imagine being able to shift your inner world and witnessing the reflection of that shift in your outer experiences. It's a transformative potential that extends to every facet of your life, creating the possibility for truly miraculous changes. When you fully grasp this concept, it not only gives you power, but allows you to understand what is happening around you and how you can take control of the creation of your life. This is a paradigm shift, moving you from being a passive observer in your life to being the conscious creator of your own reality. This is not about passively hopping for change. It's about understanding that true change originates from within, and that the key to unlocking that change is in understanding your own energy. Here's where it gets really interesting. This method hinges on a very specific understanding of the subconscious mind, the part of your mind that operates largely outside of your conscious awareness, yet is in control of the majority of your beliefs and habits. This is where the subtle but profound magic happens. Most people aren't even aware of what their subconscious believes, and that it is often in direct opposition to their conscious desires. The real key, therefore, is to work with this hidden part of the mind, and the most direct access point to the subconscious is found in that transitional state as we drift off to sleep, often called the state akin to sleep. It's during this specific state that the mind is most receptive to new suggestions, and new beliefs can more easily take root. This is not a random phenomenon, it's a precise mechanism, and it's in this state that the power of this method lies. Interestingly, this is also what both James Allen and Neville Goddard understood as well, each in their own unique way. They both explored this subtle but profound state and the importance of accessing the subconscious mind for the purpose of reprogramming it. It's important to understand that their teachings are not mere theories. These are practices and techniques that have been tried and tested over time and proven to create incredible results. Finally, this is where the principle of repetition becomes so important. Our brains require consistency and repetition to accept new ideas, to form new habits, and this method is no different. That is why this is not a one-time practice. It's something you'll be doing every night, for 21 nights in a row, setting the stage for a deeper and more lasting change. But here's the catch. Why is this method so simple, yet so effective? If it is so easy, why isn't everyone using it and experiencing the incredible results we've been hinting at? There are subtle nuances that make this method work, and it's in understanding these nuances that one can really experience the transformation. This is no ordinary affirmation or a simple bedtime prayer. There is a hidden power to it that most people overlook, simply because it appears too easy. The secret method might not be what you're expecting. It's deceptively simple, and yet it contains a profound power when applied in the proper way. You might even recognize, as you reflect back on your life, that you've unknowingly experienced the inner-outer mirroring effect that we spoke of earlier. This pattern is always present, but now you will begin to recognize it with new eyes and a new understanding. And this understanding will be reinforced throughout the rest of this video. Before I reveal the specific script or affirmation and the visualization that goes along with it, we must first establish the proper framework for success. We will also explore the specifics of the 21-night framework and show you how to overcome the resistance to consistency that will inevitably occur. So stay tuned, because in the next part of this video, we're going to go deeper into how this all works. So, before we dive into the specifics of the affirmation, we need to prepare the mind, because a restless mind is like a turbulent sea, where no clear reflection is possible. Just as muddy water prevents us from seeing what lies at the bottom, a mind full of racing thoughts blocks our access to the wisdom and insights that are always available to us. This isn't about trying to force the mind to be still, but rather to create a space where stillness naturally emerges, a sanctuary of calm where new beliefs can take root and flourish. Therefore, the secret to making this method truly work is a calm mind, a mind that is intentionally quiet, receptive, and open to new possibilities. It's not about a generalized sense of calm in your life, but the specific act of intentionally quieting your mind in preparation for this practice. If your mind is constantly cluttered with worries, to-do lists, and distractions, the affirmation will simply pass through the surface of your consciousness without making its way into the subconscious, where the real change happens. We need to create the conditions that will allow the affirmation to fully penetrate into the deeper realms of your mind. Now, let's explore some practical relaxation methods to create this calm state that will be ideal for the method. Let's begin with a simple, yet profound breathing exercise. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs completely, and as you exhale, imagine that you're releasing any tension, worry, or stress that you might be holding on to. Do this several times, focusing solely on the rhythm of your breath and the sensation of air moving in and out of your body. This is a powerful way to anchor yourself in the present moment and bring your focus inward. Then, as you continue to breathe deeply, begin to let go of the day, just as you might set down a heavy bag that you've been carrying. Imagine the day's stresses, frustrations, and unresolved tasks as a weight that you can consciously release, allowing them to fall away. This isn't about ignoring your responsibilities, but rather creating space so you can enter this practice with a clear and receptive mind. When we relax the mind, we also relax the body, and that is when true access to the subconscious becomes possible. Remember, a relaxed mind is much more open and receptive than a cluttered mind, and this intentional relaxation is the first key step in this process. As you practice this intentional relaxation, remember the pattern of inner preparation leading to outer results, and how this is not just a random act, but a direct reflection of the inner world. The effort that you make to create that stillness within is directly proportional to how effective the technique will be. The inner action of choosing to be still and consciously letting go of your thoughts and worries is what creates the possibility of real transformation in your life. Just like a seed needs fertile ground to grow, your subconscious needs a calm and receptive mind in order to accept the new beliefs that you will be planting. Remember that a cluttered mind will often reflect a cluttered external life, and this process begins with consciously creating a space of inner clarity. This is not just a passive exercise, but an active participation in shaping your own reality. You are actively choosing to create space, and by doing that, you are setting the stage for the extraordinary results to follow. It's also helpful to note that this idea of inner stillness and of preparing the mind before taking action has long been emphasized by both James Allen and Neville Goddard. If you look back to their writings, they were always talking about the importance of inner work, suggesting that the real change begins within and that all external action is a mere reflection of our inner world. They understood that a restless mind, a mind that is constantly being pulled in different directions, will never be able to achieve the intended results. For instance, James Allen in As a Man Thinketh wrote, "Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom." He saw this stillness not as a passive state, but a necessary condition for wisdom to unfold. Similarly, Neville Goddard frequently spoke of the importance of the state akin to sleep for accessing the subconscious mind and reprogramming it with new beliefs. They both understood that, by learning to control our inner world, we are simultaneously learning to control our outer experiences. So, now that the mind is prepared, let's move to the next part, which is the core affirmation. Now, let's slowly begin to introduce the affirmation, phrase by phrase. This is not just a random collection of words, but a carefully crafted sequence that holds incredible power and the potential to create real change. The affirmation itself is deceptively simple, but it contains profound depth and meaning, and we'll be taking the time to unpack each part. It's important to understand that it's not the words themselves that are the source of power, but the feeling behind them and the intention that you infuse into each phrase. We will begin to reveal the exact intention behind these words, because this is where most people fall short and miss the real key. So, think of the affirmation as a seed that we are going to plant in your subconscious, giving it the space to take root and grow into something extraordinary. The words are simple and accessible, but they are layered with a specific intention. Let's begin with the first part. The first phrase of the affirmation is simply, "I am." Now, on the surface, these two words might not seem like much, but when repeated with intention, they become an acknowledgement of your very existence, your presence in the here and now. Feel the weight of these words, "I am," as you say them, and recognize that this is the foundation of your reality. Then we add the next phrase, "I am awake." Now feel what those words bring to you. I am awake. This is not about being awake in the physical sense, but about awakening to your own potential, your own power, your own inner divinity. Feel the truth of these words as they resonate in your heart. Then we add the next part, "I am awake, and I am free." This is where the intention really begins to take shape, as it is a declaration of freedom from all limitations, from all that is holding you back from living the life you truly desire. Repeat these words internally, "I am awake, and I am free," and feel the power of those words. Let's keep adding to it. The next phrase is, "I am awake, I am free, and I am loved." Now bring your attention to that phrase. This is a recognition of your inherent worth, that you are loved beyond measure, and that you deserve all the good that life has to offer. Feel these words as you say them. I am awake, I am free, and I am loved. This is not a logical exercise, but a deeply emotional one, and the more you can connect to the feeling of these words, the more powerful the affirmation will become. Now we add the last part. I am awake, I am free, I am loved, and I am limitless. This is a declaration of your true potential, your infinite capacity to create the life of your dreams. Feel that phrase. That is the full affirmation. I am awake, I am free, I am loved, and I am limitless. Let the feeling of this phrase take root in your heart, your mind, your body. It's important to note that this isn't just about the words themselves, but rather the intentional feeling behind them and the purpose they serve. Each phrase is specifically designed to reprogram limiting beliefs that may be lurking in your subconscious, beliefs that might be holding you back from experiencing the fullness of life. There are reasons why each word was chosen, each having its own specific purpose and intention, but it's not necessary to consciously analyze it. What truly matters is that feeling, the emotion that each word evokes, that is the key to unlocking the true power of the affirmation. The true power of this affirmation is unlocked when these words are not just said, but felt. The true sign of the method working will be when these words start to resonate with your inner world, when the feeling of the words becomes the truth. Now, let's move on to the next part, which is how to use visualization as a tool to engage the subconscious mind and to bring this method to a deeper level. Visualization is not just about creating a mental image, but about creating a mental experience. It's about making the affirmation real, making it tangible, so the subconscious mind can not only hear it, but it can see it, it can feel it. Think of it this way: the subconscious mind understands the language of images and feelings, not just words. Therefore, visualization helps to create a bridge between your conscious desire and the subconscious mind, so it's shown what is desired. Think of it as showing, rather than simply telling, the subconscious what you're choosing. This is not about creating a fantasy, but about aligning with the true reality that already exists for you, the reality of your deepest desires. Now, as you repeat the affirmation, begin to see yourself as already living the life that you desire, the life that is aligned with the feelings that the affirmation evokes within you. Notice how the visual of the new you changes how you feel. The "I am awake, I am free, I am loved, and I am limitless" version of yourself is already present within you. It's not something you need to strive towards, it's simply about aligning with that version of yourself. You're not creating something new, you're simply remembering who you already are and choosing to step into that truth and fully embody it in your daily life. Try it on. See how the new version of you feels, how the world responds to you, and how you respond to the world. Notice how the feeling changes your overall being and how your energy shifts. By stepping into this new identity, even in your imagination, you begin to shift your beliefs, you shift your vibration, and you begin to create a powerful energetic momentum. When you engage the emotions associated with this new reality, you are truly bringing the affirmation to life, because emotion is the language of the subconscious. As you repeat the affirmation, allow yourself to feel the joy, the freedom, the love, and the limitlessness that you are affirming. Allow the emotions to wash through you and to fully embody the feelings that you are consciously choosing. Believe that those emotions are not just abstract concepts, but a reality that you are already living. This is not about thinking about your desires, it's about feeling them and embodying them with every cell in your being. This feeling, this belief that is felt in your heart, is what makes the subconscious accept the new reality as true, and it's this merging of visualization, feelings, and affirmation that creates lasting change. As you repeat this practice each night, remember the pattern of inner feelings creating outer experiences. The visualization, the emotions, combined with the affirmation, are all working together to create a cohesive energetic force, and that is the key to unlocking the true power of this method. It is in combining all of these methods, all at once, that the greatest shift will occur. Now, it's time to move to the next key component of this method: the commitment to consistency, specifically the 21-night framework. This will be the method that really helps this practice to take root and flourish. Observe how you are feeling, notice what is shifting within you, because this will give you the concrete proof that the method is truly working. Now, let's talk about commitment and the importance of repeating this technique for 21 nights in a row. This isn't just an arbitrary number, but based on studies of habit formation and the approximate time it takes to fully integrate a new belief into the subconscious mind. This consistency is absolutely crucial in reprogramming deeply ingrained beliefs as the subconscious learns through repetition. Think of each night's practice as building upon the last, reinforcing the intention and strengthening the new belief within you, as if each night builds upon the last, creating a stronger and more solid structure. Like watering a plant, each practice feeds and grows the seed of your new reality, giving it the nourishment to flourish. There will inevitably be days where you're going to encounter resistance, when you might want to skip the practice and convince yourself that it is not working. There might be days when it simply feels too difficult, or you might start to question the process and have doubts about the validity of the method itself. This is perfectly natural. This is not a reason to give up. This is where most people give up, because they want instant results, or they believe that it is simply too much work, or they believe that it is not working if they do not see immediate changes. But it's important to understand that these feelings are simply a test, a way to show how committed you truly are to your new life. The only thing that is standing in the way of experiencing this new reality is simply going through these 21 nights and allowing the resistance to fade. Remember, there is a big difference between trying and doing. Trying implies a lack of commitment, while doing indicates full commitment and action. It's not about trying to change your life, but actively changing it each and every night. The power of this method isn't in the intention alone, but in the consistent action that you take, no matter how small it may seem. You must be fully committed to this process for 21 days, allowing for the space and time to reprogram your mind. Think of the difference between thinking, "I want to change my life," and truly and actively saying, "I am changing my life." The first is a wish. The second is a decision, a commitment, and the full embodiment of that decision. It is important to see that the power is in the consistent effort, not just the initial excitement, because that will inevitably fade, but the practice is what keeps it alive. It's important to remember as well that the need for consistency was also a key component of the teachings of both James Allen and Neville Goddard. They both understood that transformation is not a one-time event, but a process that requires time, patience, and most importantly, consistent action. They didn't just talk about the theory, they always emphasized the importance of consistent practice, and that change occurs when we put their principles into action, night after night, day after day. By doing so, the new ideas solidify into beliefs. Now, before we move into the next part, which is about letting go of the need to control the process, it is important to mention that all this takes time. It may not always be easy, and there may be some resistance, but in order to allow this method to really take root, it is important to keep going and to understand the next key phase, which is the idea of letting go. Now, let's briefly introduce the letting go phase, which is the last, but perhaps the most crucial step of this entire method, and here's where many people stumble, because it goes against everything we've been taught, and it requires something unusual, a release of control. This is where we begin to understand that this method is not about forcing the external world to change, but rather about allowing the inner world to align with what we desire, and trusting that this alignment is enough. Releasing control is the next key to making this method work, and it is completely counterintuitive to what most people believe. We often believe we must strive to get what we want, but this method is about receiving what is already ours. You must trust that the method is already working, even if you do not see immediate results in the physical world. Remember that the seed has been planted, and it will take time for it to sprout and begin to fully grow. You don't need to force the method to work. You simply need to allow it to unfold naturally. And as you continue this practice, you begin to see the subtle shifts that are already occurring, both within and without. Forcing things is a form of resistance, and resistance will always create more of what you do not want, and the need to see immediate results will actually slow the process down and create more frustration. Just like the watched pot will never boil, the more you try to control the method, the less likely it is to work. The secret is simply in allowing, and that takes faith. Remember the pattern we have been establishing, that of the inner world creating the outer world. Know that the inner shifts you're experiencing, even if you can't see the results externally, will eventually create external shifts, even if they are not immediately apparent. Trust that this process is working, even when you don't see the results, because that is the essence of faith. Letting go is not about giving up, but about trusting in the method, in the process, and the universe itself, and knowing that everything is working out for your highest good. You are simply aligning your inner world and allowing your outer world to become a true reflection of your inner state. And that sometimes takes a trust that goes against our logical minds. In the next part of this video, we'll explore how to recognize subtle signs of transformation, both internally and externally, and how to trust that the process is always working, even behind the scenes. You might already be experiencing some shifts, but not yet be aware of them. We'll also dive deeper into how to release attachment to specific outcomes, and we'll uncover why this is such a crucial element of the method itself. This method is deeper than you might realize, and we're just now beginning to truly explore the depths of its power. So stay tuned, because the next part is where it all comes together. Now, let's delve deeper into the idea of letting go, a concept that might seem paradoxical when we're actively trying to manifest something. And yet, it is perhaps the most crucial key to making this entire method work. It's important to understand that letting go doesn't mean abandoning our desires or giving up on our goals. Instead, it's about releasing our grip on how and when our desires will manifest. It's about surrendering to the wisdom of the universe, knowing that it will orchestrate the unfolding of events in ways that are beyond our limited understanding. You see, clinging tightly to a specific outcome can actually create resistance. Just like trying to hold onto water too tightly will cause it to slip through your fingers. This is because when we cling too tightly, we are actually signaling a lack of trust in the process itself, and that creates a counterproductive energy, actually pushing away what we desire. So, how can we cultivate this powerful state of non-attachment? Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You carefully choose the right soil, you water it, you give it sunlight, and then you trust the natural process of growth. You don't dig up the seed every day to check on its progress. You don't try to force the seedling to grow faster. Instead, you simply allow the natural rhythms of nature to take their course, knowing that if you provide the right conditions, the seed will sprout in its own time. Similarly, when we're trying to manifest our desires, we must do the same thing. We must plant the seed of intention. We must nurture it with our feelings and our visualizations, and we must trust that the universe will bring it to fruition in the perfect way, in the perfect time. Now, think about it. Have you ever tried desperately to make something happen, only to find that it slips further away from your grasp? Perhaps you've been in a situation where the more you tried to control the outcome, the more resistance you actually created. This is a common trap, because we're so used to believing that effort and control are the keys to success. But when we are dealing with the unseen realms of energy, it works differently. The act of trying too hard or obsessing over the results actually creates resistance, and here's why. When we're in a state of desperation, we are signaling a lack of what we want. We become fixated on the idea that we do not have what we want, and the subconscious responds to that feeling, reinforcing the lack of our desires, creating a self-perpetuating cycle. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It responds to our feelings, and it accepts our dominant thoughts as reality. So, if we're constantly thinking, feeling, and worrying about what we don't have, then that's exactly what we'll continue to experience. True manifestation, therefore, isn't about forcing the world to bend to our will. It's about aligning with the frequency of our desires. It's about feeling as though we already have what we want, as if it's already ours, and allowing the universe to orchestrate the unfolding of events in a natural and easy way. True manifestation is not about wanting. It is about already having it and feeling like it has already occurred. So, how can we escape this trap of forced manifestation? The key is to understand the difference between active faith and passive wishing. Passive wishing is simply hoping that things will change, without taking any conscious action or truly believing that change is possible. But true faith is something entirely different. It's an active state of trust, a deep knowing that what you desire is already yours. It's about planting that seed of intention and knowing that it's already growing beneath the surface, even when you don't see the immediate evidence of it. True faith is about feeling that it's already yours, that the process is already unfolding, even if you do not see the tangible results in your physical reality. It's about trusting that you're already on the path and that the universe is conspiring to bring you what you desire, even if that path is not always immediately clear. It's about knowing that it's not your job to figure out all the steps. It's simply your job to stay aligned with the feelings of having already achieved what you desire. So, how does this relate back to the state akin to sleep? Remember that in this state, our subconscious mind is the most receptive to our thoughts, and if we enter the practice with worry and doubt, we'll be essentially planting seeds of fear and anxiety, which will then manifest in our lives. But if we enter this practice with faith and trust, then we are planting seeds of certainty and conviction, which will inevitably bear fruit. It's not about forcing the universe to give us what we want. It's about aligning our inner state with the reality that we desire, and trusting that the outer world will simply reflect the changes that have occurred within. You see, when you obsess about the outcome, you're actually signaling that you don't have it, and that lack is what's being reinforced. But when you trust, when you know, and you truly feel as if it has already occurred, that is when the energy can flow freely, and that is when the miracle occurs. So, letting go isn't about giving up. It is actually about surrendering into the power of the process itself. This is where the concept of inner alignment comes into play, because obsessing about external results is often a sign that we're out of alignment, and this is a key distinction. When we are constantly focused on the external, it is a reflection of our inner state of lack. But when we release the need to control and truly trust the process, we begin to align ourselves with our desires on a deeper level. You see, the more we try to control the outer world, the more we're revealing an inner state of lack, and the more we can let go, the more we're trusting that our inner state is already aligned with our desires. Remember the idea of the mirror we spoke of earlier in the video, that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. When you begin to see how these ideas are all connected, then this is when true transformation becomes possible. So, as you continue with this practice, what if you were to release the need to control the outcome? What if you were to trust that the universe is already orchestrating the unfolding of events in the most perfect way? What if you were to simply allow the process to unfold naturally, knowing that you are already aligned with your highest potential? Now, let's transition to the next key component of this process. Recognizing the subtle shifts that are occurring both internally and externally, because sometimes the shifts are not always as obvious as we expect them to be, and if we are not careful, we can easily overlook them. The first signs of this technique working are not always dramatic or instantaneous, but rather, they manifest as subtle shifts in feeling, mood, and perspective. You might find yourself feeling a sense of calm that wasn't there before, or you may notice a new sense of ease and flow in your daily life. These shifts may seem small, but they are incredibly significant, because these internal changes are the precursors to external manifestations. Just like the roots of a tree must grow beneath the surface before the leaves appear above, our internal world must shift and change before our external world can reflect that change. So, it's important that we're paying attention to these subtle signs of inner transformation, no matter how small they might seem. What if the smallest shift was an indicator of the larger change? As your inner state changes, you will also begin to notice the appearance of synchronicities, and they will appear in ways that seem almost magical, and yet they are a direct reflection of the shifting energy within you. These synchronicities might appear as unexpected opportunities, meeting the right people at the right time, or experiencing coincidences that seem almost too perfect to be random. For example, someone who is looking for a new job might suddenly find that a seemingly random conversation with an old friend leads to a perfect job opportunity. These coincidences aren't random occurrences. They are a direct reflection of the energy that you've been cultivating through this practice. As your vibration shifts, Your reality begins to align with that new vibration, and the universe starts to orchestrate events that support your intentions. Therefore, what if these coincidences were not random, but were in fact the universe responding to your new state of being? What if the random events are the actual evidence that this method is working? Being observant of these subtle shifts is crucial to trusting the process, and this takes a mindful intention. Not all changes will be dramatic or obvious, and some may be so subtle that they're easily overlooked if you're not paying attention. This is where active faith comes in, and it requires us to trust in what we know to be true, rather than relying solely on what we can see with our physical eyes. Therefore, you may even consider keeping a journal to track these subtle shifts, to acknowledge the changes that are happening, even when they are seemingly small. The more you pay attention to these small shifts, the more you'll begin to recognize the patterns of change, and the more you begin to see them, the more your faith will deepen. It's not about needing to see the changes to believe in the process, but believing in the process, and in turn noticing the changes that occur. This practice requires us to see with more than our physical eyes. It requires us to see with our hearts and to feel with our souls. What if you kept a record of your shifts and could track your progress? What if that was a key to staying engaged? Remember that analogy of the seedling growing beneath the surface. We must remember that inner growth must always precede outer growth, and that's why it's so important to acknowledge the small, internal shifts, because they are the building blocks of the larger, external changes. Just as the roots of the plant grow silently beneath the soil before the leaves and flowers appear above, your inner world must be nourished and cultivated before you can see the fruits of your labor in the external world. This process isn't about forcing growth, it's about allowing it to unfold naturally, trusting that, as you continue to plant the seeds of your intention each night, they will take root and begin to blossom. The internal is always creating the external, and it is in observing and acknowledging this process that our faith and trust deepen. So, how can you begin to trust in the subtle shifts you're experiencing? How can you begin to see the evidence of this method working, even when the results are not immediately obvious? Now, let's move into the implementation of the nightly ritual and how to fully integrate this method into your life. The final thought before drifting off to sleep is the most impactful to the subconscious mind. So your new nightly ritual will be to make the affirmation your final thought before sleep. This is not just a random habit, but a conscious choice to impress the subconscious with a new reality. When your conscious mind is relaxed and begins to drift off to sleep, your subconscious mind becomes most receptive, and that is when the affirmation sinks in the deepest and begins to really take hold. Think of it as planting a seed in fertile ground where it can grow and flourish without any resistance from the conscious mind. Your last thoughts before sleep will become your dominant thoughts of your subconscious, and these thoughts will begin to shape the reality that unfolds around you. Therefore, what if each night you are consciously choosing to plant the seeds of your intention in the most fertile ground of all, your subconscious mind? What if, in those final moments of each day, you are actively shaping your destiny? It's also very important to maintain a gentle, non-forceful approach when repeating this affirmation, because this process should not be about straining or struggling. It's not about pushing your thoughts, but rather allowing them to settle into your mind with ease and without any resistance. Think of it as softly placing a seed into the earth, not shoving it in with force. The subconscious is very sensitive to our energy, and if we approach this practice with tension, then that tension will be the primary focus of the subconscious. But if we approach this practice with a sense of calm and with a gentle intention, then that is what will be impressed into our subconscious. So, allow the words of the affirmation to gently settle in your mind without any resistance or effort, and simply allow it to be, and simply allow the process to unfold naturally. What if by simply allowing, you are unlocking the true power of this method? What if the key to transformation is not in the doing, but in the allowing? Remember as well to approach this practice with a feeling of trust in the process, Because it's important to know that you have already done your part by consciously choosing what to plant into your subconscious. You have chosen the seed of your intention. You have cultivated it with your feelings. You have watered it with your visualization. And now you must simply trust that it will unfold as intended and in the most perfect way possible. You don't need to worry about the how or the when. You simply need to allow the universe to orchestrate the unfolding of events, knowing that you are already aligned with the outcome that you desire. This method isn't about control, it's about alignment. It's about knowing that you are a co-creator of your reality and that you are already on the path towards your most desired outcome. What if all you had to do was simply trust? What if that was the single, most powerful key? This nightly ritual connects back to all of the key themes that we've been exploring throughout the video, that of inner power, conscious creation, and the profound impact of the subconscious mind. This is not a set of isolated concepts, but rather a cohesive whole, with each part supporting the others. We began with a look at how our thoughts shape our reality, and now, here we are, implementing a powerful technique to harness that power for our own transformation. This method is the culmination of everything we've explored, and the nightly ritual is where it all comes together. You are not just passively hopping for change. You are actively creating it and shaping it in a way that aligns with your deepest desires. The more that you can connect to this idea and truly understand how all of these methods work together, the more your belief will deepen. So, as you begin your nightly practice, how can you fully connect to your inner power and fully embrace your ability to consciously create your reality? And now, as we move into the call to action, it is time to make a commitment to yourself and to this practice, and to fully step into your role as a conscious creator and begin to experience the changes in your life. Therefore, I am inviting you to publicly declare your commitment in the comments section below by simply stating, "I am ready," because making a declaration is a powerful way to make it more real and to create an added level of accountability and to put your words out into the universe. This declaration isn't for my benefit, it's for yours. It's a way of telling yourself that you are truly committed to this process and that you are ready to take the steps towards creating a new reality. By simply writing those words, you're taking the first step to truly embodying your commitment and to truly starting this transformative process. What if making that declaration could make a huge difference in your experience? What if by saying the words, "I am ready," you were truly setting something profound into motion? I also want to invite you to connect with each other in the comments, to share your experiences, to ask questions, and to provide tips and support. This is a community, and by sharing our individual journeys, we can all inspire and uplift each other and create a space where we all can grow and thrive together. You are not alone on this journey, and there are others who are experiencing this process with you and who are also committed to their own inner transformation. So, take the opportunity to connect, to collaborate, and to create a community of like-minded individuals who are all committed to consciously creating their own reality. What if we could create a community of people who are all on the same path? What if in doing this, we can all support each other and collectively uplift each other? Remember, this process is a journey, and that results may not be immediately apparent, but it's the consistency and your commitment to it that will really make all the difference. The letting go phase is a crucial aspect of this process. It's not about giving up. It's about truly trusting in your own ability to create your reality and knowing that you are always being guided towards your highest good. You don't need to force it. You simply need to allow the transformation to unfold, knowing that the universe will bring you what you desire in the most perfect way and the most perfect time. This isn't just about mastering a technique. It's about mastering your mind, your energy, and your ability to consciously create the life that you truly desire. It's a journey of self-discovery and self-empowerment, and it requires your active participation to truly create real change. So, how will you embrace the power of letting go and allow your transformation to unfold? And before I let you go, I want to let you know that the next video will explore recognizing the patterns of resistance and common pitfalls that people face as they start this process, so that you can be fully prepared and armed with the knowledge that you need to truly create lasting change. Understanding how resistance manifests and how to overcome it will be key to fully experiencing the power of this method. So, stay connected, stay curious, and get ready for the next step on your journey towards fully embodying your role as a conscious creator. What if the next video held the key to unlocking even more potential? What if staying connected was the next step in your transformation? Let's now delve deeper into the fascinating world of your subconscious mind, that hidden realm of your inner being where so much of your life is actually being created. You see, your subconscious is not just a passive storage space for old memories. It is an active force that is continuously shaping your perceptions, your beliefs, and therefore your experiences. Think of it as a vast ocean beneath the surface of your conscious awareness, where currents of habit, past experiences, and ingrained beliefs are constantly in motion. These unconscious programs, like the software running in the background of your computer, are often working counter to what you consciously desire, and this is where many of your struggles may be stemming from. These programs were often installed by others, not by your own conscious choice, perhaps stemming from childhood experiences, cultural norms, or societal expectations, and these programs act as filters, coloring how you perceive reality and shaping the actions you take. For example, if you were raised with limiting beliefs about money, such as money is the root of all evil, this program will run counter to your conscious desire to achieve financial abundance, acting as a barrier to creating wealth. Or perhaps you experienced self-doubt early on in life, and now this self-doubt, although not conscious, will sabotage even your best intentions, holding you back from pursuing your dreams. So, what if the very programs running in the background of your mind are responsible for creating the obstacles that you are facing? What if your subconscious is acting against your conscious desires? Now, here's the exciting part. The subconscious mind, like any other system, can be reprogrammed, and that is what this entire method is about. The key to changing your subconscious is repetition. You see, consistent repetition of new ideas and feelings begin to create new neural pathways, much like forging new roads in the landscape of your brain. When you consistently repeat the affirmation and visualization each night, you are essentially overriding the old, limiting programs and installing new, empowering ones. This is where the 21-night framework comes into play. It's not just an arbitrary period of time. It's a period where the subconscious begins to fully accept the new program. Think of it like learning a new language. You wouldn't expect to be fluent after just one lesson. It requires consistent effort, practice, and repetition, and over time, you begin to internalize the new vocabulary and grammar. Similarly, the nightly ritual is like rewiring your brain's circuits, and over time, the new neural pathways become stronger and more dominant. These new pathways allow your subconscious mind to shift from the old programs to the new, creating a positive feedback loop that empowers you in your daily life. So, what if your subconscious could be rewired in your favor? What if the old programming was not permanent? This process is especially effective during the state akin to sleep, when your conscious mind is less active, making the subconscious more receptive to new information. Think of the conscious mind as a firewall, a filter that is constantly sifting through information, analyzing it, and judging it. When the conscious mind is active, it can be very difficult for the new programs to bypass this filter, and that's why it is so effective to do the practice at night. In the state akin to sleep, the firewall is more relaxed, allowing the new programs to slip through more easily and take hold with less resistance. Therefore, this nightly practice is not just about relaxation. It's about accessing a specific point of the mind where new beliefs can take root with ease. It's also why that final thought before drifting off is so important, because it's the last impression you're leaving on your subconscious, and therefore it is the impression that becomes the dominant thought. So, What if you could access the most open, receptive state of your mind every night? What if there was an optimal time of day to make the biggest impact? It's important to remember that this concept of subconscious reprogramming is not just a modern idea. It has been explored by many ancient wisdom traditions and figures such as James Allen and Neville Goddard. James Allen, in his timeless work, As a Man Thinketh, wrote about the power of thought to shape our reality, and this connects to how our thoughts literally shape our brains over time. The consistent repetition of a thought actually creates new neural pathways, making that thought more dominant. Neville Goddard's teachings of living in the end and assuming the feeling of already having what you desire were designed to reprogram the subconscious to accept the desired reality as if it were already true. They both understood that our internal state is what creates our external experiences, and the practice of feeling it real was their way of aligning the subconscious with their desires. Now, modern science is catching up, with research in neuroplasticity showing that the brain is not fixed, but can physically change and adapt, and this shows how the practice of repetition and visualization is not just theory, but that it is backed by real science. So, what if ancient wisdom and modern science were pointing to the same truth? What if the secret of reality was not so secret after all? Now, let's explore the crucial role of feeling and vibration in this process, because it's not just the words of the affirmation, but the feeling behind them that is the true catalyst for change. You see, the subconscious doesn't respond as much to the logical meaning of words as it does to the energy and emotion that accompanies those words. If you were to say the words, "I am abundant," while feeling scarcity and lack, your subconscious would respond to the feeling of scarcity, not the words of abundance. That's because your subconscious responds to the emotional state, and it accepts the dominant feeling as being true. The emotion is the fuel that powers the subconscious mind, and the affirmation is the direction, and therefore both are needed to create a change. So, it's more important to embody the feeling of your desire than simply stating your desire without feeling. Therefore, what if the key to change was found in the feeling of the words? What if the emotion was the actual catalyst? The universe itself, as we discussed previously, is always in a state of vibration, everything from the smallest atom to the largest star, and this includes your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. When you repeat an affirmation with genuine emotion, such as feelings of joy, gratitude, or love, you raise your vibrational frequency, and this aligns you with your desired reality. Remember the concept of mirroring that we discussed earlier, that your inner state creates your outer reality. When your internal vibration is aligned with your desire, you begin to attract experiences that resonate with that frequency. This is why feeling is so powerful, because it acts as a magnet, drawing towards you what you are a vibrational match for. On the other hand, when you are in a state of fear, doubt, or worry, you are creating a low vibration that actually attracts negative experiences, and this is how many of us become trapped in unwanted patterns. Therefore, what if it was possible to simply choose the vibrations that you wish to embody? What if, by choosing, you could simply change your entire reality? This nightly ritual of repeating the affirmation with feeling and visualization is a powerful tool for releasing the vibrations of fear, doubt, and scarcity, and replacing them with the vibrations of faith, abundance, and love. It's about choosing the emotional state that you want to embody and consciously creating a new reality by making this choice. It's not about eliminating negative feelings. It's about choosing where to focus your attention and choosing the vibrational state that you wish to occupy. By intentionally choosing to focus on love, gratitude, and faith, you start to raise your overall vibration, which begins to attract the experiences that match that new state of being. The nightly practice is a deliberate way to clear out the old and invite in the new, and over time, your entire reality will begin to reflect this change. So, what if your reality was simply a reflection of your own vibrational state? What if, by choosing your vibration, you were choosing your reality? James Allen also spoke of the power of thoughts to create reality, and that thoughts are a form of energy that has a profound effect on the world around us. He didn't just talk about this concept, he lived by it, and he showed that when thoughts are aligned with feeling, they become an active force. You see, this nightly practice, using the affirmation with feeling, is more than just a set of steps. It is about harnessing the power of your own thoughts and emotions to deliberately shape your destiny. This isn't just a concept, it is a real practice that unlocks the true power of this knowledge. It is about recognizing that we are not passive observers in the world, but that we are active co-creators with the universe. Just like a radio tuner, the affirmation, when aligned with the right feeling, tunes into the frequency of the desired reality, attracting it into your life. So, what if this nightly practice was a way to tune into the frequency of your greatest desires? What if, by tuning in, you could bring your ideal reality into being? Now, let's talk about the inevitable resistance that you will experience, because the mind naturally resists change, even when that change is positive. This resistance might come in the form of doubt, skepticism, or even just the desire to skip a night of practice. This resistance is not a sign that the method isn't working. In fact, it is often a sign that the method is working, because the old patterns are fighting to stay in place. It's like when you begin to work out, your muscles might feel sore and tired at first, but this is actually a sign that they're growing stronger. The act of simply pushing past the resistance is where the true power lies, and it's important to know that these feelings are normal. When the mind is faced with something new and different, it will automatically push back, and therefore you must be ready. So, what if resistance was not a sign of failure, but rather a sign of progress? What if pushing through the resistance is the key? The subconscious mind can be quite cunning and may try to sabotage your efforts through subtle thoughts and feelings. These thoughts might not seem directly related to the practice. They may be a subtle form of self-doubt or a past trauma that surfaces unexpectedly. These thoughts are often a way for your old patterns to try to stay in control. It's therefore important to become aware of these sabotage tactics and not to engage in them, because awareness is the key to moving beyond them. These subtle tactics can be very effective. That's why recognizing them is so essential for moving past them. Therefore, what if these doubts and old traumas are simply attempts to derail your progress? What if recognizing those attempts was a way to disarm them? This is why consistency is absolutely essential, because each night builds upon the previous night, and every time you push through a night of resistance, your new program gets a stronger foothold. Think of each night as adding a new layer of paint to a wall, with each coat making the new color more vibrant and dominant. Skipping a night breaks the chain of reinforcement, like removing one brick from a building, making it much harder to establish the new pattern. It's much more effective to push through the nights that feel difficult than it is to skip it, even if you feel like you're not making progress. The 21-night framework is designed to create a strong foundation, a solid base that will allow the changes to become permanent. Therefore, what if consistency was the most important factor in reprogramming your subconscious? What if each night built on the previous one and made your efforts that much stronger? Ultimately, the true key to this method is trusting in the process and letting go of the need to control the how and the when. This is not a passive form of trust. It's an active knowing that the universe is working in your favor and that the seeds you're planting will indeed bear fruit. It's about releasing the need to see immediate results and instead focusing on staying consistent with your nightly ritual and doing the work. This ties back to the idea of faith as an active force. It is about knowing and feeling that it is already done, rather than wishing and hoping that it will be done one day. Just like a farmer who trusts the natural process of growth, we too must trust that the universe will bring our desires into reality in the perfect way and in the perfect time. Therefore, what if trusting in the process, rather than worrying about the result, was the key to making it work? What if true faith was simply the knowledge of the unseen? And now, as we approach the final stages of this method, it's time to prepare you for the subtle shift that is about to occur, a shift that may not always be dramatic or obvious, but is rather a gentle unfolding. It's important to remain observant and open to recognizing these subtle changes, which often appear as a new sense of calm, peace, and flow in your daily life. The changes may start small, but over time they will grow into something very significant, like the roots of a tree that start below the surface and eventually grow into a mighty oak. These internal shifts are often a precursor to external manifestations, and therefore you must pay close attention. So, what if you are now being prepared for the subtle shifts that are about to take place? What if the internal changes were the first sign that this process was working? These internal shifts will also be mirrored in your external experiences, and as you become more calm and centered, you will find that your life begins to reflect that new state. This external shift is a direct result of the changes that have occurred within you. The outer world is simply a mirror reflecting your inner world, and as you continue this nightly practice, you will begin to see evidence of that. Remember that everything that shows up in your life is a reflection of your inner state, and as you change that inner state, your outer world will begin to shift in harmony with that. So, what if your external world was simply a reflection of your internal state? What if you could use that to your advantage? This all connects back to Neville Goddard's teachings of living in the end, where he encouraged his students to assume the feeling of already having their desire. Because when you embody the state of already having what you desire, your subconscious will accept that as a reality, and the external world will simply reflect that truth. The nightly ritual is designed to put you into that feeling state of already having what you want, allowing your subconscious to accept it as truth, and from there, your reality will simply unfold from that new state. So, what if this nightly ritual was simply a way of embodying your desired reality? What if you were already living the life you desired, and just had to remember that? And now, as we transition to the call to action, know that the next step is about committing to this nightly ritual as a powerful practice of self-transformation. The method has been given, the principles have been explained, and now it is time to fully step into it. The next part is about applying everything that has been learned and making a commitment to see it through, and all that remains is for you to choose. So, what if the final step was the most powerful of all? What if you were on the cusp of a total transformation? Let's now explore this idea of mirroring a little deeper, because understanding this principle is key to unlocking the power of this method. The world around you isn't just a random collection of events, it's a constant and direct reflection of your inner state. Your beliefs, your thoughts, and your emotions, these are all acting as the projector, creating the movie of your life. If you carry within you a deep-seated belief that you are unworthy of love, you will find that your relationships will constantly reflect that belief. This isn't just chance or bad luck. It's a direct mirroring of the internal program that is running. The people you attract, the situations you find yourself in, they are simply showing you the current state of your inner world. You may not even be consciously aware of these beliefs, but they are still creating your reality every moment of every day. This principle is not limited to just love. It extends to every area of your life, including wealth, health, and even success. If you carry beliefs of scarcity, then your life will reflect that. If you carry beliefs of abundance, your life will also reflect that. It's not about positive thinking, it's about the deeply held beliefs that are creating a vibrational frequency, and the outer world is simply responding to that frequency. Are you ready to look at your life as a mirror? What if your experiences were simply a reflection of the unseen beliefs you hold within? Now, let's consider how your internal dialogue is directly impacting your external experiences, because the things that you say to yourself in the privacy of your own mind are setting the tone for the rest of your life. Every thought you have and every word you use in your self-talk is a form of energy, and that energy shapes your reality. Negative self-talk creates negative experiences, creating a feedback loop that reinforces those negative patterns. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not good enough, you will find that your experiences will continue to prove you right. Similarly, if you consistently doubt your own abilities, you will find that you will encounter situations that will confirm that doubt. However, the opposite is also true. When you nurture yourself with positive and affirming self-talk, you will begin to experience the world as a more loving, abundant, and supportive place. It's not just about blindly repeating positive affirmations. It's about truly believing them at a core level. The external world is simply responding to the vibrational frequency of your inner dialogue, and therefore, if you change that inner dialogue, you will then change the external experience. How often are you aware of the dialogue that you are engaging in, and how is that dialogue impacting the life that you're creating? What if the words that you speak to yourself held the very power to shape your world? The beauty of this mirroring principle is that it works both ways, giving you the power to deliberately create your desired external reality. By deliberately choosing to change your inner state, you are simultaneously changing your external experience. The nightly ritual, with the affirmation and visualization, is a way of deliberately shifting your inner dialogue and therefore changing your outer reflection. You are not just passively waiting for life to happen to you. You are actively shaping your experience by changing your inner beliefs, your thoughts, and your emotions. For example, if you have the belief that you are not worthy of love, and you then decide to embody self-love and repeat the affirmation with those feelings, your external reality will start to reflect that new state of worthiness. As you embrace this shift, you'll attract healthier, more loving relationships because you've become a vibrational match for those relationships. The nightly practice is not just a series of words. It's a powerful tool that will help you align your inner state with your deepest desires. You are deliberately changing the inner world, and therefore, you will deliberately change the outer reflection. Do you see how this nightly practice becomes more than just a routine? What if you could use the mirror principle to your advantage and deliberately shape your experiences? This brings us back to the crucial importance of the state akin to sleep and the nightly ritual. This nightly practice is designed to consciously change the inner state, allowing the outer world to reflect those internal shifts. The subconscious is always listening, taking in information, and creating your reality based on what you feed it. When you consciously choose to feed it empowering thoughts, feelings, and beliefs each night, you are creating a new template for your inner world, and this new template is what will ultimately be mirrored in your daily life. Therefore, this nightly ritual isn't just a passive practice. It's a deliberate, focused effort to reprogram the very core of your being. The more consistent you are, the more your subconscious will begin to accept the new program, and the more your outer reality will begin to reflect the inner changes. It's not just about repeating words, it's about changing the inner world and trusting that the outer will follow. Are you starting to see how the nightly ritual becomes a powerful tool for changing your entire reality? What if the nightly ritual was creating a new template for your life? Now, let's further explore the concept of vibration and how your thoughts act as a form of energy with its own unique frequency. Every thought that you have is sending out a specific vibration into the world, and these vibrations collectively create the overall state of your being. Consistent thoughts, over time, create a dominant vibrational frequency that becomes your personal reality. This is why the nightly ritual is so powerful. It consistently feeds the subconscious a new set of thoughts and feelings, which over time becomes your new dominant frequency. If you consistently think about lack, you will create a low vibrational frequency that aligns you with scarcity, and therefore you will attract more of that into your life. On the other hand, if you consistently think about abundance, you will create a high vibrational frequency that aligns you with prosperity, and therefore you will attract more of that. It's not about denying the existence of challenges, but about choosing to focus on the positive, the potential, and the possibilities that are also present in your life. Are you seeing how your thoughts are acting as a form of energy that is shaping your reality? What if your consistent thoughts were creating your dominant vibrational frequency? It's not just about the thoughts themselves, it's also about the feeling that you attach to those thoughts, because the feeling is the direct expression of the energy that you are holding. When you repeat the affirmation, it's not just about saying the words, but about feeling them as if they are already true, because this feeling is what raises your overall vibration. Imagine what it would feel like to already have what you desire, and embody that feeling as you repeat the affirmation each night. The affirmation itself is like a tuning fork, a tool that helps you to align your vibration with what you want, and this feeling is what acts as the catalyst for change. It's the feeling that the subconscious responds to, because the subconscious is more attuned to energy than to logic. When you repeat the words with feeling, the subconscious will begin to embody that new pattern, aligning your entire being with that new state. Do you see how the feeling is the active force behind the affirmation? What if the emotion behind the words was the key to activating the subconscious? You have the power to deliberately choose your vibrational state, because you are not a victim of your thoughts and feelings. You have the conscious choice to shift your state at any time, simply by directing your attention to the thoughts and feelings that you wish to embody. When you choose to focus on positive thoughts and emotions, you are consciously choosing to shift your vibration. When you consciously choose to repeat the affirmation and feel the feelings of abundance, peace, and joy, you are choosing to raise your vibration, and this is the true key to power. This power is always available to you, and the nightly ritual is simply a tool that you can use to access this power and change your reality. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances, but a conscious creator who has the power to shift their inner state and create a new reality from that place. How often are you aware of your ability to consciously choose your vibration? What if you held the power to shift your reality with a simple choice? This concept aligns perfectly with James Allen's teachings in As a Man Thinketh, where he states that our thoughts are what create our reality, that it's not just about what we think, but the feeling and vibration behind that thought. You see, this nightly practice is a practical application of Allen's wisdom, and it is more than just a mental exercise. It's a deliberate practice that will help you tap into the power of your mind and your emotions to create a new reality. Allen understood that the mind is a powerful force, and that through conscious thought and feeling, you can shape your destiny. This method takes that wisdom and creates a real method to put it into practical use. The affirmation isn't just a set of words. It's a tool designed to align your vibration with your deepest desires and create a life of abundance, peace, and joy. Are you ready to put this ancient wisdom into practice? What if James Allen's teachings provided a path to deliberate creation? Let's now explore the concept of letting go and how it works in tandem with the act of having faith, because letting go is often misunderstood as a form of passivity or indifference, but it is actually an active choice to trust in the process and to release the need to control the how and the when of your desires manifesting. It's not about giving up. It's about aligning with the natural flow of energy, trusting that the universe is working in your favor, even when you can't see the results yet. It's also about releasing the need to control the external and realizing that you are in control of the internal. When you release the need to micromanage the outcome, you're freeing up your energy to focus on your inner state, and this is where your true power lies. This act of letting go, then, is actually a very powerful choice. Do you see how letting go is actually an active state? What if releasing control was a way of aligning with the natural flow? Faith, in this context, is not just a blind belief. It's an active form of trust in the power of your subconscious to manifest your desired reality. It's about maintaining the feeling of already having what you desire, even when you don't see any external evidence of that yet. It's about trusting the process, even when you don't see immediate results. This trust is a bridge that connects your inner world to the outer world, and it's essential to allow your manifestation to unfold. When you have faith, you aren't hoping that it will happen one day, but knowing that it's already done, and you are living from that place of knowing. This feeling of knowing is what fuels the subconscious to bring that desire into being. What if faith was simply a feeling of knowing that everything is already done? What if this feeling was what created your reality? The conscious mind will inevitably try to take over and control the manifestation process. It will analyze, it will question, and it will doubt the process, which will often lead to frustration. This is where it's important to release the need to force the outcome, and instead to focus on the feeling of the affirmation, the visualization, and the trust in the process itself. When you shift your attention away from the outcome and onto the consistent practice itself, you will actually accelerate your manifestation. The more you try to control the how and the when, the more you will create resistance, because you are fighting against the flow of energy, not working with it. Do you notice how the mind often tries to control what it doesn't understand? What if letting go of control was the key to manifesting with ease? This concept of letting go, while also holding on to faith, is a cornerstone of Neville Goddard's teachings as well. His idea of living in the end requires that you release the need to control the specifics, and instead, you rest in the knowing that it is already done. You simply assume the feeling of already having your desire, and the universe will then unfold accordingly. This nightly practice is designed to help you embody that feeling and to reinforce this knowing in your subconscious mind. The more that you embrace this state of knowing, the more easily your desired reality will manifest. Therefore, what if the nightly practice was designed to put you into this state of knowing? What if resting in the knowing was the key to manifestation? The importance of consistency is something we need to revisit, because this nightly ritual isn't just about the 21 nights, it's about creating a new way of being. This practice isn't just something that you do and then move on. It's a way of aligning yourself with your deepest desires, and it's a practice to be done each night. Every night that you engage in this ritual, you are reinforcing a new pattern, and these changes occur gradually, over time, creating a transformation that will impact all areas of your life. Each night is an important part of the process, so it's imperative that you commit to it. What if the nightly practice was a way of creating a new way of being? What if each night was vital to that process? You will likely face moments of doubt and discouragement throughout this process, and that is completely normal. Your mind, as we've discussed, is designed to hold onto old patterns, and it will try its best to pull you back to your old way of thinking. These moments of doubt are not a sign that the method isn't working, but a sign that the old patterns are still active and that they are fighting for control. It's in these moments of doubt that your commitment is truly tested. This is the time to recommit to the process and trust that the changes are happening, even when you cannot see them. It's also a good time to review any subtle shifts that you have been seeing, which may provide you with the inspiration to keep going. What if doubt was not a sign of failure, but simply a sign of the old patterns releasing? What if pushing through that doubt was where the true power resided? As you move forward, it's helpful to have some markers that you can use to track your progress, and to have faith that these subtle shifts are indeed working. The changes are often subtle, and they happen over time. They are not always big or dramatic, but rather they unfold gradually. You may notice a shift in your overall mood, a new sense of calm, or more synchronicities in your daily life. By simply tracking these subtle shifts, you'll begin to have more faith in the process and in your own power. The method is designed to create long-term changes, and therefore it's important to be patient and trust that the journey is part of the transformation. Are you observing the subtle synchronicities that are appearing in your life? What if these subtle changes were a sign of a larger transformation unfolding? Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination, because the process of inner transformation is what creates the outer changes. The focus isn't just on achieving a specific outcome, but about becoming the person who is aligned with their deepest desires, and the method will help you to achieve this state. It's the nightly ritual that creates the changes within you, and these changes will naturally bring about the corresponding shifts in your external reality. You are not only creating a new life, you're also becoming the person you were meant to be. What if the process was just as important as the outcome? What if the true gift was not in getting what you want, but in becoming who you were meant to be? Now, let's bring all of this together, briefly recapping what we've covered so far, because each of these aspects works in a cohesive way. The nightly ritual, with the affirmation and visualization, is designed to reprogram the subconscious mind during the state akin to sleep. This process works by raising your vibration, allowing you to attract experiences that resonate with that new state, and by letting go of the need to control the how and the when, you are aligning with the natural flow of energy. The act of having faith in the process allows the changes to unfold naturally, and this entire process works together to create the transformation that you desire. The method isn't complicated, but it requires focus, commitment, and dedication. Are you beginning to see how all these elements work together in one seamless process? What if understanding the interconnectedness of all these pieces unlocked the next level of power? The power to create your reality lies within you, and this method is simply a tool to help you access that power consciously. The choice is yours to step fully into your role as a deliberate creator and to take control of your inner world. The choice is always yours, and it's up to you to decide if you are ready to fully embody this new way of being. The power has been inside you all along. The method has now been given, and all that's left is for you to decide. Are you ready to step fully into that power? What if the only thing left to do was to simply make the choice? The next step, then, is simply committing to the nightly ritual and to begin observing the subtle shifts that occur in both your inner and outer world. And it is now time to take all this information and put it into active practice. This next step is about taking the knowledge that you have been given and now making a committed choice to see it through. It is not about just having the knowledge, but about taking action on it, and that choice is what will activate the power of this method. What if the next step was about activating your deepest potential? What if the only thing left to do was to simply take action? The method is designed to transform both your inner world and your external experiences, and it is the consistency and commitment to the practice that is the key to success. The true power lies in your consistent application of this method, and the next part is about taking that leap and stepping fully into the new life that is waiting for you. All that remains is for you to take the final step. What if your true power was in the consistent application of this method? What if you were on the verge of a life-changing breakthrough? Let's now consider the state akin to sleep, not just as a tool for reprogramming the subconscious mind, but as a portal, a doorway to connecting with universal energy itself. In this state, where the conscious mind begins to quiet down and the subconscious becomes more receptive, something profound happens. You are not just changing your own inner world, you are also tapping into a much larger source of energy, an infinite field of possibilities, an unlimited source of potential. It's as if the veil between your individual consciousness and the universal consciousness begins to thin, and in this thinning, you gain access to higher states of awareness, to a deeper sense of connection to something far greater than yourself. It's not limited to your individual experience. It's an entry point to an unseen, unlimited source of creativity, inspiration, and guidance. The nightly ritual is designed to put you into this state every night, allowing you to access this powerful, limitless energy and create a bridge between your inner world and the vastness of the cosmos. Do you see how the state akin to sleep becomes more than just a time to rest? What if it was a way to connect with the very source of all creation? In this state of relaxed awareness, you are no longer just a receiver of information, but also a conduit, a channel for the creative energy that is always available. This is why you may sometimes find that answers to your questions appear seemingly out of nowhere, ideas that feel like they are downloads from a higher plane of consciousness. The state akin to sleep allows you to move from a state of forcing to a state of allowing, where you begin to align with the natural flow of creation. It's in this receptive state that you begin to access your intuition and your inner wisdom. You are not just reprogramming your mind, but you are opening yourself up to receive guidance and connect to something far greater than yourself. This isn't a passive state. It's a state of active participation where you allow the universe to work through you, and in that process, you become a conscious co-creator of your reality. What if your intuition was a direct line to the universe, and your inner wisdom was the compass to guide you? Now, let's explore how the intention you set during this state acts as a directive force for this universal energy. Because when you set a clear intention as you are drifting off to sleep, you are essentially giving direction to this limitless energy. The affirmation, repeated with the feeling of knowing, becomes a focused directive, a clear signal that you are sending out into the universe, and this focused intent is what begins to shape the circumstances in your life. The nightly ritual, then, is not just a routine. It's an active way of consciously channeling this force, a way of saying to the universe, "This is what I choose to create." Your intention is more than a wish. It's a focused direction of your energy, and it is the active element that engages with universal energy and begins to reshape your reality. What if your intention was the key to activating the power of the universe in your life? What if this nightly ritual was the way to align with that force? This concept of a universal energy is not new. It has been a central part of many ancient traditions, with names like prana, kai, or the life force. These cultures understood that everything is interconnected, and that this energy is the essence of all things. It's the foundation of life itself, and by tapping into this energy, you are aligning yourself with a very powerful, very potent force. This isn't just a New Age concept, but one that has been understood by cultures for thousands of years. It's an idea that is timeless, universal, and transcends any one particular belief system. Neville Goddard also understood the power of consciousness and this universal force, and his teachings are closely linked to this idea, and that this nightly ritual is a practical application of what he taught. Are you beginning to see how these concepts are not just ideas, but are the very building blocks of reality? What if the key to transforming your life was to understand this universal force? Let's dive deeper into this concept of intention, because understanding it is crucial to maximizing the effect of the method. Intention is a conscious choice to direct your energy towards a specific outcome. It's not just a desire or a wish, but a focused direction of energy, like a laser beam that is directed towards a specific point. It's the act of deciding exactly what you want and aligning yourself with that specific outcome, both in your mind and in your feeling. It's not enough to just want something. You must also have the knowing that it is already yours, and this feeling of already having is what fuels the manifestation process. When you combine that feeling with the intention, you are setting up a very powerful dynamic. The goal of the nightly ritual isn't just to repeat words. It's to embody the state of living in the end, to live from a place of knowing that your desired outcome is already a reality, and this is the real power of intention. What if intention was the active force that shapes your reality? What if living in the end was the true power of this intention? The intention is what communicates to your subconscious mind that your desired reality is not just a wish, but a decision, a chosen path that you are now stepping into. When you combine this intention with the affirmation and visualization, it's as if you are sending a clear, focused message to your subconscious, and not an ambiguous one, and this is very important to understand. Your subconscious mind responds to the language of feeling and energy, and this is why the feeling that you hold while you are repeating the affirmation is so important. The intention gives the subconscious the direction, but the feeling is what gives it the power, because the feeling is the language of the subconscious, and the more clear that signal is, the clearer the outcome will be. When the intention and feeling are aligned, it creates a powerful magnetic force that the subconscious then uses to bring your desire to life. How often are your intentions vague, and how can you make them more precise? What if the combination of intention, feeling, and visualization was the true recipe for manifestation? It's crucial to understand the distinction between wishing and knowing, because wishing comes from a place of lack, while knowing comes from a place of abundance. Intention is rooted in the state of knowing that the desired outcome is already a reality, not in a vague hope that it might come one day. The more that you can move from wishing to knowing, the more powerful your intention will become. And this shift in perspective comes from consistent practice of the nightly ritual, where you are choosing to embody the state of already having what you desire. And when you do, you will begin to feel the difference. This isn't a mental concept. It's a felt experience, a shift in your vibrational frequency that creates a powerful magnetic force, a force that is irresistible to the universe, a force that will begin to reshape your reality. Are you wishing for your desires or knowing that they are already yours? What if this state of knowing was the key to unlocking your true potential? James Allen also spoke extensively on the power of focused thought, and your intention is a form of that focused thought, but it's imbued with the feeling of knowing. And this is what creates the changes in your life. He understood that the mind was a powerful tool, and that through focused thought and directed feeling, you could shape your destiny. Intention, when combined with feeling, becomes that focused thought, directed with the energy of knowing, creating a very powerful and potent combination. It's not enough to just think about what you want. You must also feel it as if it's already yours, and by consistently doing this, you'll begin to change your outer experiences. The method, then, is a practical way of implementing Allen's teachings and taking his wisdom and using it as a tool for conscious creation. What if your intention was the link between your thoughts and your experiences? What if James Allen's teachings were simply about the power of conscious intent? Let's now delve into the concept of letting go, and how it is a crucial part of this process, because letting go is often misunderstood, and it's not about giving up or indifference. It is actually a powerful act of trust, a conscious choice to align with the natural flow of the universe. It's about releasing the need to control the how and the when of your manifestation, and instead, you are trusting that the universe will bring it to you in the perfect way, and in the perfect time, and that trust comes from the knowing that your desire is already a reality in the unseen realm. You see, your subconscious has already accepted the new reality, so it's simply a matter of time before it manifests, and this trust is the key to allowing that process to unfold. And it's not about abandoning your desire, but about releasing the worry and the need to control. How often are you trying to control the how and the when, and how is that preventing you from manifesting with ease? What if true control was about letting go of control? The true creation process takes place in the unseen realm, in the place of infinite potential, where the affirmation has the greatest effect. And this is where the seed of your intention is planted, and like a seed, it requires a period of trust, a time to grow and blossom. This is not the time to be digging up the seed each day to see if it has grown yet, because worry and doubt will act like weeds and prevent it from reaching its full potential. The state akin to sleep is a gateway to these unseen realms, and this is why it's such a powerful time to set your intention and let go of the need to control. You must trust that the universe is working on your behalf and that your desire is already on its way. The outer world is a reflection of the unseen, so if you create it in the unseen first, the outer world will naturally reflect that. What if the outer world was simply a reflection of the inner, unseen world? What if worry and doubt were the only things preventing your manifestations from unfolding? Faith, then, is not just wishful thinking, it is an active participation in the manifestation process. A way of saying to the universe, I know this is already mine, and I am open to receiving it now. Faith is the feeling that your desired outcome is already here, even before you see the physical manifestation. And this belief, this knowing, is what allows your transformation to unfold. Because the more faith you have, the quicker your manifestation will occur, because the subconscious responds to emotion. And faith is a very powerful and magnetic emotion that attracts your desire like nothing else. This is not about passively waiting. It's about actively embodying the feeling of already having what you desire. And from that place, you allow the universe to move into action. Do you see how faith is a very powerful active choice? What if the feeling of knowing was the key to manifesting all that you desire? Neville Goddard also spoke extensively about the importance of letting go and how it was a necessary component of manifestation. His concept of living in the end requires that you accept your desire as already true and that you release the need to control the how and the when and simply reside in the knowing that it is done. This practice is designed to help you embody that state of living in the end and to make it a natural part of your being, a new way of living that shifts your experiences in every area of your life. It's not about mentally believing, it's about feeling it as if it is already true and to trust the process will unfold naturally. Goddard often said, "Feeling is the secret," and this nightly practice is a very practical application of that principle and how important it is to let go of control and trust that all is unfolding perfectly. What if Neville Goddard's teachings were simply about the power of feeling and letting go? What if letting go was a way of aligning with the natural flow of the universe? It's important now to understand that the signs of progress are often subtle and they start from the inside out. The first shifts that you'll notice are often internal, a greater sense of peace, calm, and confidence, which is far more important than any outer manifestation. These changes will manifest in your mood, your attitude, and your overall perspective of the world. And when you begin to feel these shifts, you will know that the method is working. You might find that you are less reactive to stress, that challenges that once seemed overwhelming now appear smaller or even insignificant, and these subtle changes are often the most significant, because they are a sign that your inner world is beginning to shift, and the outer world will naturally reflect that change. Are you tracking the subtle shifts in your mood? What if your internal changes were the most important markers of progress? As your inner state shifts, you'll also begin to see external synchronicities and opportunities start to appear in your life, unexpected events or new connections that seem to line up perfectly with your desires that were not there before. These events aren't random. They are a reflection of your new vibrational alignment, and these coincidences are simply signals that the universe is responding to your shift. For example, if you are wanting a new job, you may find that a friend mentions an opportunity, seemingly out of the blue. Or perhaps you're wanting a loving relationship, and you may find that you cross paths with someone who is a perfect match, seemingly out of nowhere. And these events are not random. They are the universe responding to your new inner state, aligning with your vibration, a clear sign that the mirror is starting to work. How often are you paying attention to the synchronicities that are appearing in your life? What if these coincidences were signals of your manifestation? It's important to keep track of all of these internal and external shifts so that you have tangible evidence of the method working, which will then help to build your faith and make the process even more powerful. By having these markers, you are able to see very clearly that the changes are occurring, and it will give you the confidence to continue. Keep a journal, note how you are feeling each day, and pay attention to the synchronicities that are appearing in your life, and this will serve as evidence to the power of the method, which will further solidify your belief and keep you motivated. This is not about forcing. It's simply about noticing the subtle shifts that are occurring and using that as fuel for your faith. How often are you making note of the subtle shifts? What if the most powerful evidence was in what you didn't notice before? The most important aspect is not just to focus on the outcome, but on the journey of self-transformation, because this method is more than just a technique. It's a path of self-discovery, a journey of becoming the person who is aligned with your deepest desires. You're not just creating a new life. You're also becoming more of who you are meant to be. And this understanding is what makes the journey far more profound than any individual outcome. Because as you transform from the inside out, you will naturally create a life that is in alignment with your highest self. The changes will be profound, and they will transform you into a new being. And this is the true power of the method. What if the journey was the reward? What if the real gift was in becoming more of who you are meant to be? You are now at a pivotal point, because the theoretical understanding of the method is about to become a practical application in your life, and the shift is about to happen as you make the choice to begin this 21-night journey. You are now moving from learning to doing, from passive observer to active participant, and it's time to put this information to use and step into the power of the method. The method is not just about knowing, it's about doing, and now the doing is about to begin. You are on the precipice of something very powerful, something that will transform your life. Are you ready to step from theory to practice? What if you were on the verge of a complete and profound transformation? This next step is not just an invitation. It's a challenge to step fully into your power as a conscious creator and to embrace the power that has always been inside you. The information that you have gained throughout this video is designed to help you realize your own potential, and it is time to begin using this power and to start consciously creating your life from a place of knowing, and the choice is yours to do so. You have a clear understanding of how powerful you are. Now it's time to take that power and put it to use. What if the next step was about fully embracing your own power? What if it was time to create your new reality? The nightly ritual, then, isn't something that you have to do. It's something that you get to do, a way of consciously choosing to shape your reality and step into that new life. And it is a way of deliberately choosing the experience that you desire. It's about taking ownership of your life and using the method as a tool, a way of aligning yourself with your highest potential. And when you begin to see the power of this ritual, you will do it with joy and enthusiasm each night. The ritual is what creates the changes, and it is now time to fully commit to it and put it into practice. How would your life change if you fully embraced your role as a conscious creator? What if the nightly ritual was the key to unlocking all that you desire? The call to action that is coming is about commitment, and you are about to be invited to declare that commitment in the comments. And this act of declaring your commitment solidifies the change in the unseen realm. The next step is about choosing to step into this journey and begin the 21-night transformation. The shift is about to begin, and it's about making a commitment and choosing to take the leap and create the life that you truly desire. And it is time to take that final step. What if the only thing left to do was to simply make the choice? What if that choice was about to change your entire life? Now, let's move from the understanding of this method to the actual experience of it, because the nightly ritual is far more than just a routine. It's a sacred practice, a deliberate act of aligning yourself with the creative power within, a very specific time that you set aside to consciously connect with your subconscious mind and the universal source of energy. It's a commitment to yourself and your desired outcome, a time each day where you choose to step away from the mundane and enter a space where transformation is not just possible, but inevitable. Think of it like creating an altar within yourself, a space of reverence where you honor your intentions and where you align with the universal creative energy, making it far more than just a daily task. This approach shifts it from something you have to do to something you get to do, changing not only the practice, but also your overall perception. How would your practice shift if it were an altar of your own making? What if this nightly ritual was the most sacred act of your day? The true power of this nightly ritual isn't just in the words you say, but in the intention and focus behind them, because intention is the very fuel that drives the manifestation process. It's the force that directs the energy and shapes your reality. It's about entering this space with a clear understanding of what you desire, why you desire it, and embodying the feeling as if it is already yours, and this feeling of knowing is what truly activates the method. This isn't just about mindlessly repeating an affirmation. It's about infusing it with the energy of your desire, with the deep knowing that it is already a reality, and this combined energy is what creates the shift. Intention, in this context, is not just a thought. It's a deliberate act of aligning your energy with the desired outcome, and it is what brings your desires to life. And by focusing on intention, you transform the method from a technique into an active act of creation. How would your experience change if you entered the space with a strong, clear intention? What if your intention was the ignition to the power of this method? Now, let's focus on the state akin to sleep, which is the key that unlocks the true potential of this method, because this is the moment when your subconscious mind is most open and receptive to new information. It's when the conscious mind, with all of its doubts and skepticism, begins to quiet down, and the subconscious becomes the receptive field for your new program. This is why the nightly ritual should coincide with this time, so you can gently allow the affirmation to settle into your subconscious mind, like a seed being planted in fertile soil, gently, naturally, and without resistance. It's not about forcing or trying to control, but allowing the affirmation to sink in without resistance and with ease, and this gentleness is what truly creates the shift. The state akin to sleep becomes more than just a transition from wakefulness to slumber. It is a state of active receptivity, a place where new patterns of thought and feeling are most easily established, and this understanding is very important for the method to work. What if the state akin to sleep was the gateway to your subconscious mind? What if receptivity was the key to changing your life? The nightly ritual is also a way of consciously connecting with the universal energy flow and directing it toward your desired outcome, because you are not alone in this process. You are part of a much larger, interconnected system, a field of infinite possibilities, and the nightly ritual is a way of actively engaging with this field. It's not just about personal gain. It's also about connecting with a higher source of creation, a force that flows through all things, and by using your intention and focus in the state akin to sleep, you are becoming a deliberate co-creator of your reality. You are not just a passenger in this life. You are a conscious agent, and the nightly ritual becomes your way of connecting with the creative forces of the universe and consciously directing them. The method moves from a personal practice to a collaboration with the universe, and that is a very powerful and potent shift, and it's designed to make you into a conscious creator. What if your intention was a way of connecting to the very fabric of the universe? What if the nightly ritual was a way to participate in the creative process? Now, let's talk about recognizing the subtle shifts and synchronicities that will begin to occur as you start this practice. Because often, the changes are not dramatic or instantaneous, but subtle and gradual shifts that occur both internally and externally. Change begins beneath the surface, much like the roots of a tree growing slowly and steadily before the tree emerges from the ground, and it is important not to overlook these internal changes, as they are often far more significant than any external change. It's important to pay attention and not be looking for grand events, because the real shift will be coming from within, and it is in that shift that you will find all that you are seeking. The inner changes are the first indication that the method is working, and it's designed to prepare you for the shift that is about to unfold, and it's important to make note of them. What if the most significant changes were happening beneath the surface? What if these internal shifts were the foundation for all of your manifestations? These internal markers of change can include an increased sense of peace, a more positive outlook, and a greater feeling of self-confidence, a lightness that comes from a sense of inner alignment and a feeling of empowerment. These are more than just moods. They are signs that the method is working at the very core of your being, shifting your vibration and aligning you with your desired outcome. The change will also manifest in your reactions to stress, your ability to handle challenges, and your overall perspective of the world. And these internal shifts are more important than the external, as it is from these changes that all of the other changes will occur. Pay attention to these internal shifts, because they are telling you that the transformation is occurring and the method is working, and that is very important to understand. What if the greatest change was a new sense of inner peace and alignment? What if your new reactions to stress were signs of your transformation? Then, as a reflection of these inner changes, you will also begin to see external synchronicities start to appear, seemingly out of nowhere, like opportunities that arise in unexpected ways or new people that show up in your life who align with your intentions. These coincidences are not random. They are a reflection of your new vibrational state, a sign that the universe is responding to your inner shift, a mirror reflecting your internal world. It's like the universe is starting to align itself with your new vibration, bringing people, places, and events into your experience that match the new state of being. If you want a new career, you may suddenly encounter someone who mentions a job opening, seemingly out of the blue. Or, if you are looking for a relationship, you may suddenly find yourself meeting someone who aligns with your desires. These synchronicities are a confirmation that your intentions are taking shape in the outer world. What if these synchronicities were a signal that the universe was conspiring on your behalf? What if your new reality was mirroring your new inner state? It is so important to be observant and mindful so that you recognize these subtle shifts and synchronicities, because they are very easy to overlook if you are not paying attention, and they will build the foundation of faith in your process. It's important to keep a record of these occurrences so you can see very clearly how the method is creating changes and to build your trust in the process. Keep a journal, and each day write down any internal shifts that you are noticing and any external synchronicities that are happening, no matter how small they may seem, because these occurrences are the breadcrumbs that show you the path that you are on and the changes that are happening. By paying attention to the subtle shifts and synchronicities, you will begin to see how the universe is working in your favor and how the method is designed to work with your deepest desires. What if the universe was sending you signals all the time? What if your new ability to see these signals was a sign of your shift? Now, let's address the inevitable resistance that will occur during this process, because as you start to embed new beliefs and patterns into your subconscious, old beliefs and habits may try to push back, and this is a very normal part of the process. It's not a sign that the method isn't working, but simply that the old patterns are being challenged, and that is actually a very good sign that the change is taking hold. It's important to not get discouraged, but rather understand that resistance is a natural part of transformation, like when you are going to the gym and the muscles hurt. That is a sign that they are getting stronger. The resistance shows you that you are pushing beyond your old comfort zones and entering the path of transformation, and that's exactly where the magic happens. What if resistance was a sign of change rather than failure? What if discomfort was the key to breakthrough? This resistance might take many forms, such as doubt, skepticism, feeling discouraged, or even feeling like the method isn't working, because the subconscious may try to sabotage the process by bringing up old traumas, limiting beliefs, or negative self-talk, and it's very important to be aware of these tactics so that you can gently push past them. The old patterns and beliefs will not just go away, but they will push back and create all kinds of distractions, and those distractions are actually a sign of the change that is taking place. You are not trying to fight the resistance, but simply allow it to move through gently, without resistance, and with compassion, and then redirect your focus back to your practice. The subconscious may bring up old fears to keep you stuck in the old patterns, but if you understand that this is part of the process, you can navigate it with understanding and awareness. What if your doubts were simply old beliefs fighting to stay in power? What if compassion was the most effective way to overcome your resistance? Overcoming resistance doesn't mean fighting it. It means approaching it with compassion and understanding, because it's very normal to feel resistance, and it's important to be patient and gentle with yourself, as you would with a dear friend, and it's not a sign of weakness, but a sign that you are transforming. This is a journey of self-discovery and a way of becoming more of who you truly are, and this is not something that you can do by force, but more by gentleness and understanding and compassion. Instead of getting caught up in the struggle, simply acknowledge the resistance and gently return to your nightly practice, and by staying consistent, the resistance will naturally fade away. The path of transformation is a journey, and it is not about perfection. It's about embracing the process with compassion and consistency? What if resistance was an invitation to be more compassionate with yourself? What if gentleness was the greatest power in this transformation? That brings us back to the importance of the 21-night commitment, because this time period is what it takes to truly embed a new program into the subconscious, each night building upon the previous one and strengthening the new beliefs. It's not about doing it perfectly every night, but simply to do it every night as consistently as possible, and that consistency is what creates the transformation. The results are cumulative, and each night's effort adds to the power of the next, and it is important to remember that when you are feeling resistance. This 21-night commitment is not arbitrary. It's a period of time where you are actively choosing to reshape your reality and creating a new version of yourself and your life, and if you commit to this one practice, you will begin to see changes in all areas of your life. What if this 21-night commitment was the foundation of a new life? What if each night was a step in creating your greatest version? Now, let's shift our focus to embracing the new reality that is unfolding, because if you apply this method consistently, a shift is inevitable, and the nightly ritual is designed to shift your vibration, which will then create new outer experiences. You are changing the very fabric of your existence, and that is a very powerful thing to understand, and it is more than just getting what you want. It's about becoming the person who is aligned with your deepest desires. The process will change you on a very deep level, and in that change, you will find all that you were looking for, because this method is not about manipulating reality. It is about transforming yourself into the person who is naturally aligned with the experiences that you desire. What if the shift was already happening within you? What if the transformation was more about becoming than getting? It's important now to fully embrace the new reality that is unfolding, because the nightly ritual is designed to create a new version of you, a version that is more aligned with your highest potential, and to step into the person that you were always meant to be. It's not just about getting what you want, but becoming the person who naturally has it. And this is an important distinction, because the journey of self-transformation is often far more powerful than the attainment of any single desire. You will begin to notice that you are not just attracting experiences, but that you are simply embodying the version of you who is already living the life that you desire. You see, it is not about the outer, it is always about the inner, and this method changes you from the inside out, so that you become a new person. What if your new reality was simply the reflection of your new self? What if this journey was about becoming more of who you were always meant to be? This process will also highlight how interconnected the inner world and the outer world truly are. And when you align your inner world with your desires, you will naturally begin to attract the experiences that reflect that new inner state. The new outer reality is not just something that you get. It is a direct reflection of the new person that you are becoming. The outer world is simply mirroring the inner, like a reflection in a mirror, and you are always creating from the inside out. The more that you align with your desired outcomes in the unseen realm, the more naturally your new reality will appear. It's not about forcing a new reality. It's about aligning yourself with the state of being that attracts the experiences you desire. The power is always within, not without. What if the outer world was a direct reflection of your inner world? What if your new inner alignment was the key to your new reality? And now, we are about to move to the final call to action, because the time for learning is now over, and it is time to put all of this information into practice and make the choice to begin this journey. This is about taking the leap, about committing to this new path, and actively choosing to create the life that you desire. It's no longer about knowing. It's about doing, and you are now about to be invited to take the first step and begin this 21-night transformation. The next step is not an invitation. It is a calling to step into your power as a conscious creator. Are you ready to step into the new life that you are creating? What if the choice to begin this journey was the only thing standing in your way? Now, let's bring it all together and explicitly resolve the initial mystery that was presented at the beginning of this video. Because the forgotten teaching, the state akin to sleep, and the method that we have discussed are not separate ideas, but rather interconnected parts of a single, powerful practice. The forgotten teaching wasn't just about thinking positively, but about a deliberate and specific reprogramming of the subconscious mind, while in that very specific state, which we now know is the state akin to sleep. You see, the method itself is the key to unlocking the power of inner energy control, not as some elusive concept, but as a practical, hands-on technique that anyone can apply, and it is not simply a theory, but a way of consciously choosing your experience. The secret was always in deliberately reprogramming the subconscious in a very specific way, while in a very specific state, and now you have all the pieces, and you have access to this powerful method. What if the forgotten teaching was always about this specific method? What if you were now in possession of this very powerful key? Let's complete the pattern we've been exploring, the one that shows how your inner world mirrors your outer reality, because the nightly ritual that we've discussed is not just some abstract exercise. It is a way of deliberately creating a shift in your inner world, which will then be reflected in your outer circumstances. It's not a theory. It's a direct and observable pattern that you will begin to see more clearly, the more that you practice, and the more that you pay attention, and it's designed to make this pattern more conscious, so that you can deliberately create a desired reality. You will begin to witness your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings directly shaping your experiences, as if the outer world is simply a canvas for your inner masterpiece, and that is the power of conscious creation. It's not just about trying to manipulate the external world. It's about deliberately changing the inner world, and that is why it is so powerful. What if this pattern was now obvious in your life? What if you now had the power to change your canvas? Let's also take a moment to summarize the core principles of the method, which are not just isolated concepts, but interdependent steps of a cohesive process. Because the subconscious mind, the state akin to sleep, the affirmation, the visualization, the 21-night commitment, and letting go of attachment are all working together to create that inner shift that reflects in the outer world. Each step is crucial, and the method only works effectively when you bring all of the components together, because that is how it was designed. The state akin to sleep is the ideal state, because that is when your subconscious is most open to new programming, and the affirmation and visualization are the tools. The method is how you use the tools, and the 21-night commitment ensures that it takes hold, and letting go is what allows the process to unfold without resistance. You must have all of the pieces for it to work in its most powerful state. What if every piece of the method was now clear? What if it was all so beautifully designed? And now, your perspective should be shifting, moving from passive observer to an active creator of your reality, because the method was designed to reveal that power that you always held, and to help you step fully into the driver's seat of your life, and to take control of your experience. You see, you are not a victim of circumstances, but rather the conscious creator of those circumstances, and that is a very powerful shift to understand. It is not about manipulating the external world, but empowering you to take control of your own inner world and to take ownership of your entire experience. It's a radical shift from being a passenger in your life to becoming the very creator of your life. And it's not just about getting something. It's about becoming something completely new, and that transformation is what creates the change. What if you were now a conscious creator of your life? What if you now had the power to transform yourself? Let's also connect this method to a broader understanding of reality and show how this is not just a self-help technique, but rather a fundamental understanding of how energy, consciousness, and creation actually work, because this method is based upon ancient wisdom and it's now being applied to help people in today's world. It's not simply some modern invention. It's a path to self-empowerment and conscious creation that has been around for thousands of years. By applying this method, you are not only changing your own life, but also contributing to a collective shift in consciousness, because the more people understand how they create their reality, the more the whole world will shift. This is more than a practice. It's a way of aligning with the flow of creation itself and consciously choosing your experience, not just on a personal level, but for the entire world. What if this method was aligned with universal laws? What if it was contributing to a global shift in awareness? This pattern of inner-outer mirroring is more than just a component of this method. It's a universal principle, showing how reality is always working, whether you are conscious of it or not, and you now have the power to deliberately use this principle. The method doesn't create the pattern, it simply reveals it and shows how to use it consciously so that you can deliberately create a new life. The more aware you are of this pattern, the more you can use it to deliberately create the kind of life that you desire, because everything that you experience is a reflection of what's happening within you, and that is a very important point. This knowledge is your key to creating a new life, and is always working. It is just that you are now becoming aware of how to deliberately use it. What if this pattern was always working in your life? What if you now had the power to use it deliberately? Let's explore the wider implications of this method and how it's not just about achieving personal desires, but about embodying a new way of being, a way that is rooted in conscious awareness and self-empowerment. Mastering this method will also change your relationship with everything, including others and the world around you, and it is a very potent way to change your overall experience. This method isn't just about what you get. It's about who you are becoming in the process. It's about the transformation of self, and not just achieving specific external desires. This is about changing your relationship with the universe, with all of life, and with your own power, and that is a very powerful shift. What if your greatest transformation was about who you were becoming? What if this method changed your relationship with everything? This method, at its core, is about personal transformation, and any external changes are simply a byproduct of that inner shift. The focus is not on the outcome, but rather on the process of conscious creation, which is where the true joy is found, and the method is designed to help you to become the version of yourself who is already whole and complete. Any outer experiences will simply reflect that, because they are the external mirror of your new internal state, and all of the experiences that come to you will reflect this new state. This is not a path to a destination. It is a continuous journey, and this method is designed to create a new foundation for a more powerful way of living. What if the journey itself was the real transformation? What if you were already whole and complete within? Now, let's bring all the key threads of this video to a satisfying conclusion and see how the teachings of James Allen and Neville Goddard are woven into the method, because their teachings were not just theory. They were practical techniques for self-transformation, and this method applies those principles. They showed us how to use the power of our thoughts and imagination to create our reality, and this method provides you with the actual steps to do that. These ideas and this method are all connected and come together to form a powerful practice that you can use, and they are more than just ideas. They are actual methods that you can use to create a new life, and these concepts are now practical tools. What if these teachings were now more than just theory? What if they had become practical tools for you? The pattern of your inner state creating the outer world has been fully revealed, and by consistently applying this method, you will begin to see it more clearly in your own life. It is not something you must force, but will naturally unfold as you continue this nightly ritual, and it will become very clear as you continue. Keep a journal and track these changes so that you can clearly see the evidence that is unfolding in your own life, and this will only help you to build faith in the method. It's important to be an active observer in this process, so that you can fully witness how the transformation is unfolding and the changes that are occurring in every area of your life. You will begin to see very clearly how your inner world is mirroring in the outer, and that is an empowering shift. What if you could now clearly see this pattern in your life? What if you could see the results unfolding in front of your eyes? Let's revisit any questions or doubts that were raised throughout this video and provide final answers, based upon the information we have discussed, because it's very important that you feel that all of your questions have been resolved. You now have a full understanding of how the method works, and all the pieces have been put together so that you can move forward with confidence and clarity, and all the steps are designed to work together. All of the concepts that were introduced have now been brought together, so you can see how each piece is connected and how they all function within the overall structure of the practice. All of the questions and all of the doubts can now be answered with all of the information that you have gained. What if all of your questions have now been answered? What if all the pieces were now in place? Let's release any remaining tension by emphasizing that the true power is not in forcing results, but rather in trusting the process, and that is what truly unlocks the power of this method. It is not about achieving a specific outcome, but about embodying a new way of being, and that is the real goal. It is about embracing the journey and trusting that the universe is conspiring in your favor, and knowing that you are always supported in this process. The method is designed to bring you more peace, joy, and abundance into your life, and you must trust that it is always working in the background, so that you can simply relax into the experience. What if you could now relax into the process and trust? What if you could feel that you were supported by the universe? And now, let's introduce a new question, which will spark your curiosity and hint at the wider range of possibilities that are available, because this method is just a starting point, and there is so much more to discover about the nature of reality and your own power as a conscious creator. This is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of a new one, and this is your gateway to an even deeper understanding of your creative power. As you go deeper, you will discover new levels of your own abilities and see the true power that has always been within you. What else is possible when you fully embrace your power as a conscious creator? What new powers will you discover as you go deeper into the process? This method is not limited to specific areas, and it can be applied to all areas of your life, creating greater abundance, peace, joy, and overall well-being, because this is designed to create a new foundation for a better way of living. By applying this consistently, your entire life will shift in positive and profound ways, and you will see the changes in every area, as the method is not limited to only a few areas. This is a way of creating overall transformation by using this nightly practice, because it is so powerful and has a ripple effect in all areas of your life. What if this method was applicable to every area of your life? What if this one method created an overall positive change in your entire experience? Now, let's move to the final call to action and invite you to declare your commitment in the comments and to stay connected and share your journey with the community, because by sharing your experience and connecting with others, you will create an interactive space for growth and learning. By publicly declaring your intention, you are far more likely to commit to the process and to use the comments to connect with others and support each other on your journey. It's time to step fully into your power and share this new transformation with others who are choosing the same path. Are you ready to share your commitment with the community? Will you use this space to support and learn from others? And lastly, let's tease future videos that will explore related topics, building your anticipation and encouraging you to stay engaged with the channel, because there is always more to learn, and you are invited to stay curious and open to new ideas. This journey never truly ends, but it is always evolving and expanding, and you can always use this as fuel for your continued growth and exploration. The next video will continue to empower you on your journey and support your continued growth, so stay connected. What if the journey of self-discovery was never truly ending? What if the next video was the next step in your overall transformation?